close enough. Yes. When I was in New Jersey, were you out here? Maybe 6 months. Yes, that's a pleasure.
Something like a concert band. I got back from this cruise with the flu, really every day I have to make myself spend time with something that I'll put as music with something. Maybe that's not some of it's great.
Obviously, flu related standards, basically, but that's.
I'm a Messiah. I've been in the office for about 2 years. But I really like this service. Voice very fast. And that's not the others that I have is around. But there's a different version of the voice correcting that's in 12 so everything's triplets instead of the computer. So it's so much easier to see that I it's not the way. And I never feel like I have to put an H in there to separate them. Okay? Because I'm trying to soprano and not right. Obviously, and then we're going to be solving the music the same other headers, which I tend to even just always basic singer because Bob's has to be something.
That's the real honor for college. That's where all the accolades it's your ticket to the Zebulon Award. Don't you see that? I traded in a heartbeat. Every army doesn't always get to official.
all rise, please?
נירש נפחד מפחד יושב תהילות ישראל באתי לעמוד להתחנן באתי לעמוד להתחנן לפניך על עמך ישראל אשר שלחוני ואף על פי שאיני חדאי והגון לכך אף על פי שאיני חדאי והגון לכך על כן אבקשך אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה אדוני אל רחום וחנון אלוהים שדי איום ונורא אינו מצליח דרכי אשר אנוכי הולך לעמוד לבקש רחמים אינו מצליח דרכי אשר אנוכי הולך לעמוד ולבקש רחמים עליי ועל שולחי אל תפשיען בחטאותיי ואל תכוון בעוונותיי כי חוטא ופשעי
Here I am, so poor in deeds I tremble in fear, overwhelmed and apprehensive before you to whom Israel sings praise. Although unworthy, I rise to pray and seek favor for your people Israel, for they have entrusted me with this task. Therefore, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, Adonai, Adonai, merciful, gracious God who inspires awe, I pray to you for success on my path. I pray for myself and my community. Do not hold them responsible for my wrongs and offenses. May my deeds cause them no shame, and may their deeds cause me no shame. Accept my prayer as though it was offered by one more worthy of this task, a scholar proficient in prayer, unblemished in character, pleasing in voice. Let love be our banner. Let it banish our wrongs. May Israel's strife and misfortunes be turned to joy, renewed life and peace. Love, peace, and truth, may they prevail among us, and may there be no impediment to my prayer. Adonai, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, grant great, mighty, awe-inspiring God Most High, who said to Moses, I will be what I will be. May it be your will that my prayer reach your presence for the sake of the righteous and blameless, the honest and the pure of heart, for the sake of your glory. You hear your people's prayer with compassion. Blessed are you, the one who hears prayer. You may be seated. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
As our service begins, so too starts this new year. With it, a new chapter, but it is only one chapter in a much larger novel of our lives. Your book of life doesn't begin today on Rosh Hashanah, writes Rabbi Laura Geller. It began when you were born. Some of the chapters were written by other people, your parents, your siblings, and teachers. Parts of your book were crafted and are experiences that you had because of other people's decisions. Where you lived, what schools you went to, what your homes were like. But the message of Rosh Hashanah, the anniversary of the creation of the world, is that everything can be made new again. That much of your book is written every day by the choices you make. The book is not written and sealed. You get to edit it, decide what parts you want to emphasize and remember, and maybe even which parts you want to leave behind. Shana Tova means both a good year and a good change. Today, you can change the rest of your life. We continue with Hallelujah. It is truly a delight for all of us to be together this evening, welcoming in a new year. For everyone I haven't had the pleasure of meeting quite yet, I'm Rabbi Cassie Kale, and it really is so wonderful to be here with each of you. This evening, as we use our Machzor, Mishkan HaNefesh, you may notice that within the books there are pages of different colors. White pages includes the prayers and their translations. Gray pages include alternative readings that might speak to you. And blue pages include texts and questions for study. Rosh Hashanah is no doubt a communal celebration. That's why we've all gathered here to be together. But it is also a very personal one. And so as we begin this service and as we head into this season of the Yamim Noraim, the days of awe, I want to invite you to get lost in the pages of your Machzor. If you find a reading or a text that catches your eye, feel free to dive in. Join us back for communal prayer when you're ready to do so. When we each engage in prayer in a way that is personally meaningful, our communal prayer is lifted that much higher. And so we are going to officially welcome in these days of awe by lighting our Yom Tov candles. And I'd love to invite up Estelle Lieb, Josh Kale, and of course, Jody Davidson to lead us. We are on page 11. And as they light the candles, I'll invite everyone who is here, if you're able to do so, to please rise.
The first mitzvah in the Torah is, let there be light. So we are commanded, in everything you do, be a menorah, a bringer of light. Live with honor, act with integrity, do your work with passion, and the radiance of your deeds will live after you. May our ideals burn bright, forever unextinguished, and may we live our lives like the flames we kindle, always stretching upwards, striving for the good, and reaching for you. Didn't work.
This is why women usually do this.
Wait till my next
Got to get those in.
Wax it. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahavik ner shel yom tov. Source of blessing, eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might, teaching us holiness through sacred obligations, giving us the mitzvah of bringing light on this festival. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu l'azman hazeh. Source of blessing, eternal our God,
You fill the
the universe with majestic might, giving us life, upholding the life within us, and bringing us to this time.
On page 79, I invite you to join with us as we say our Kaddish.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, אשר בחר בנו מכל עם ורוממנו מכל לשון וקידשנו במצוותיו ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה ואת יום הזיכרון הזה, יום זיכרון תורה, באהבה. מקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת. זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ודברך אמת וקיים לעד ברוך אתה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ מקדש ישראל ויום הזיכרון ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. לחיים.
You may be seated. we turn back to page 12. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. This is the season of the soul, a time to rejoice, a time to reflect, a time to return. A time to gather around the table with loved ones and friends, a time for song and silence, for prayer and confession to open the heart, a time to retreat to our sanctuaries within, a time to renew the life and spirit of our community. This is the season of attentiveness, a time to notice what has unfolded and what has not, a time to regret, a time to forgive, a time to remember cherished dreams and high ideals erased by reality. This is the season of hope, like mist rising at sunset, like dew descending at dawn. Our hopes beautify and nourish everything they touch. Our hopes make us partners in creation, pursuers of peace, people who aspire to a world of justice. This is the season of awe. When our eyes behold it, may we feel blessed. When we turn toward each other, let us feel strength. When we seek the holy, may we find purpose. May we find courage. May we find love. On page 15. On page 19, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'yimotenu, yehi ratzon shenizkeh livrochotecha, bishnat 50,780 Elohei olam berach otanu ve'et kol beit Yisrael v'chidush yamenu, v'simcha v'shalom, u'v'nechama u'v'ometz lev, v'chilut atzamot v'racha Itana, Yehi Peri Sifatenu, Mikubal Viratsui Milfanacha, Bifros Hashana Hachadasha, La'ad Modin Anachnu Lach, Al Matnot Hachayim. Our God and God of our ancestors, may we know your blessings in the year 5780. Eternal One, bless us and the whole house of Israel with renewed life, happiness, and peace, comfort and courage, resilience and strength. May the words of our heart be acceptable to you in the new year that stretches before us. We are forever grateful for the gift of life. As we turn to page 20 for the Baruch Hu, I invite you again to rise if you are able to do so.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
On page 23, we continue with the reading.
Bless Adonai, who spends day into dusk, with wisdom watch, the dawn gates open, with understanding let time and seasons come and go, with awe perceive the stars in lawful orbit. Morning dawns, evening darkens, darkens and light yielding one to the other, yet each distinguished and unique. Marvel at life, strive to know its ways, seek wisdom and truth, the gateways to life's mysteries, wondrous indeed, in the evening twilight. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Page 28.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On the bottom of page 33.
You have stayed long enough in this place, God said. Time to go forward.
Turn your face to the future. Believe that you can cross the sea and survive.
Inside you is Moses. Within you is Miriam dances, unafraid. Lift up your voice and sing a new song.
מלכותך ראו בניך בוקר לפני משה, זה אלי הנור ויאמרו כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
On the top of page 37, we continue. Rosh Hashanah in the Pines. Darkness settles slowly across the horizon. The new year rises before us, its fragile moon awaiting our embrace. Heaven and earth entwine in their annual dance of recreation. A fissure appears in the firmament tonight, an entranceway into new beginnings. Out beyond the swells, the sea expands and contracts, keeping time to the thumbing of the universe. Under this Rosh Hashanah sky, the path before us is uncertain. All we can do is hold each other tight as we make our way home. there is a story about a young boy who came to his shul. And the shul had gathered to celebrate Shabbat, to celebrate a holiday, and they were all immersed in Hebrew prayer. But this little boy didn't know Hebrew yet. And so as he sat in the pews, listening to services, all of a sudden he wanted to participate. But not knowing the words, he didn't know what to do, until a thought came to mind. And he reached inside of his jacket, of his pocket, and he pulled out a flute or a recorder, a small wind instrument, and he began to play. Now, it was Shabbat, and they were in an Orthodox shul, so you can imagine that people were a little less than pleased that this boy took out this instrument and began to pray. But when it happened, the rabbi paused and listened to the boy and said, no, he can play, because his prayer is straight from the heart, and when he is playing like that, it lifts all of our prayers up with him. We are going to turn now to the Amidah on page 42. And as we say the words of the Amidah, let us say the words on the prayer, on the page, but let us also pray with the intent of our heart that that little boy had in his shul. Please rise if you're able to do so.
Adonai sfatai tiftach, Adonai sfatai tiftach, ufi yagid tegilatecha, ufi yagid tegilatecha. Adonai sfatai tiftach, Adonai sfatai tiftach, ufi yagid tegilatecha, ufi yagid tegilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וכותבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אל הרחמים, זוכר יצוריו, לחיים, לחיים, ברחמים, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני.
You are holy, your name is holy. Seekers of holiness praise you day by day. You may be seated. And on the bottom of page 49, Josie and Rachel.
And so in your holiness, give all creation the gift of awe.
Turn our fear to reverence. Let us be witnesses of wonder, perceiving all nature as a prayer come alive.
We bow to the sovereignty of your strength, the primacy of your power.
We yearn for connection with all that lives, doing your will with wholeness of heart.
Awe-inspiring is your creation, all-encompassed, your transcendent name.
Thank you both so much.
תהילה לרעך ותקווה לדורשך ופתחון פה למייחלים לך ובכן תן כבוד
See
faithfulness, give your people the gift of honor. Bless with praise those who praise you. Bless with hope those who seek you. Give the believers a basis for faith, true happiness for the land of Israel, true joy in Jerusalem.
May the sparks of David, your servant, soon grow bright enough for us to see a beam of light in the darkness, a promise of perfection.
And so, in your holiness, give the righteous the gift of a vision bright with joy, a world where evil has no voice, and the rule of malevolence fades like wisps of smoke. Good people everywhere will celebrate, the stunning sight of arrogance gone from the earth.
Thank you so much. Thank you, boys, so much. On page 52, we continue with our prayer. You might notice a theme of generations coming up tonight, that we are so blessed at Temple Bethel to have so many families who have multiple generations, and each generation of members in our community has added so much, so we are honoring all of that tonight.
You and you alone, Adonai, will reign over creation upon Mount Zion, home of your presence, and in Jerusalem, a city set apart by you. As the psalmist believed, Adonai will reign eternally, your God, Zion, for all generations. Hallelujah.
You are holy. Your name is Awe. There is nothing divine beyond you. As the prophet Isaiah taught, the source of all might is exalted through justice, the God of holiness made holy through righteousness. Baruch atah Adonai HaMelech HaKadosh. Blessed are you, Adonai, Holy Sovereign.
Mr. Koch, thank you both. Thank you so much. I'm a little shorter. On page 54, we continue. V'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava et yom hazikaron hazeh, yom teruah mikra kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. In your love, eternal our God, you have given us this day of remembrance, a day for the shofar's joyful sound, a day of sacred assembly, a day to be mindful of our people's going out from Egypt. Our God and God of the generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness. Together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life and for peace on this day of remembrance.
Zochreinu Adonai Eloheinu bo letova. Amen. Ufokdeinu vo livracha. Amen. Ve'hoshienu, vo lechaim. Amen.
Eternal our God, remember us. Amen. Be mindful of us.
Amen.
And redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing.
Amen.
On page 57, we call up the Paul family.
This is the season of God. This is the season of our humanity. And this is the day when one word stands at the very center of the Jewish people, Maloch.
3 Hebrew letters, Mem, Lamed, Kaf, reign over space and time, Maloch. Reign over the infinite expanse. Show us your reality. Help us see our infinite place in the cosmos that is our home.
What is God's sovereignty? What is God's rule?
It is the rule of unity by which we sense coherence in the universe. It is the power of relationship, relating every image of God to every other image of God, and to every facet of nature. Sunshine and ocean waves, heartbeats, honeybees, the stuff that stars are made of. It is the ultimate power that governs our lives with wisdom, compassion, truth, and kindness.
In this season of God, may we breathe new life into the ancient name, Melech HaOlam, and may the ruler of the universe breathe new life into each of us.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. On page 59, let's read together. Help me to serve you truly, with purity of heart. When I hear hateful or degrading speech, let me focus on good words and worthy thoughts. When my worst instincts cause me torment, teach me to care for myself and for others. In rough waters and misfortune, let me harbor patience and strength. Make my soul a sanctuary, that your light may dwell within me. Align all my acts in pursuit of goodness, so may I be a vessel of holiness, serving you with purity and truth.
Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tekanei תהי לרצון, תמיד עבודת ישראל. ישראל עמך קרוב לכל, קורא פני אליו עבדיך וחננו. שפוך רוחך עלינו ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון.
I invite you to continue silently on pages 61 to 71 or to offer the meditations of your own heart. We turn to page 74, excuse me. I'm skipping ahead. Page 74. Avinu Malkeinu. Strong was the faith of generations before us. In exile, they proclaimed enduring hope. In the shadow of persecution, they affirmed a transcendent love and compassion. Ours is a different age, less confident and certain, more tentative in its trust. There are many who say to the works of their hands, "You are our gods." But when our worship centers on our own creations, we feel less gratitude, more doubt and despair. This is the paradox of our spiritual lives. We grow smaller in self-exaltation, nobler when we reach for you. On this night of return, let us find the humility to come close to you and open ourselves to your presence. For you are absent only when we fail to make room for you in our hearts, distant only when we turn away from you. Now, as others have done before us, let us overcome doubt and speak these words of affirmation. We call you Avinu. As loving parent, forgive our wrongs and failings, accept us in our human frailty. We call you Malkeinu. As sovereign of our souls, help us rise from our brokenness to build a world of shalom. To this vision, we offer ourselves anew. On page 76, Avinu Malkeinu, Ein lanu melech ela'ata. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, you alone are our sovereign. Avinu Malkeinu, lamancha rachem aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, for your sake, show us mercy. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh imanu laman shemecha. Avinu Malkeinu, act toward us as befits your name. Avinu Malkeinu, shalach refuah shlema. L'cholei amecha. Avinu Malkeinu, bring healing and wholeness to the ill among us. Avinu Malkeinu, kara ro'ah gezer dinenu. Avinu Malkeinu, alei laharshes. Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer ge'ula v'shua. Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of redemption and renewal. Avinu Malkeinu, zochorenu v'zikaron tov lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, remember our goodness and call it to mind. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh lamancha v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, act for your sake and save us. Avinu Malkeinu, shema kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu, chamol aleinu, va'al olalenu v'tapenu. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families. Avinu Malkeinu, kalei dever v'charev v'ra'av me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger. Avinu Malkeinu, kalei kol tsar umastin me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror. Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer chaim tovim. Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived. Avinu Malkeinu, chadesh aleinu shana tova. Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us the year of goodness.
Avinu Malkeinu, chonenu v'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, chonenu v'aneinu, ki ein banu ma'asi. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed, ve'hoshienu.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love. It is truly such a pleasure to be standing here with all of you as we welcome in this year 5780 together. Today has many names, including Rosh Hashanah, the head of the new year, Yom HaTruah, the day of the sounding of the shofar, Yom Hadin, the day of judgment, and Yom HaZikaron, the day of remembrance. But my favorite of them all is Hayom Harat Olam. Today the world is born. Today is the day of creation. I love this name because it fills me with the anticipation of new beginnings. Just a month ago, our children began a new school year. The night before, my daughter laid out her favorite dress, and she packed her bag and longingly wondered what her first day would be like. Who would she sit next to? What would her teacher be like? What would she learn? Filled with nervous excitement, she would soon walk through the classroom's doors ready to begin this next adventure. But just as readily came her fears. "Mom, I'm scared," she said. "I'm scared to start a new school. I'm scared to make new friends. What if my teacher is mean?" In essence, she was afraid to begin again. Perhaps this evening, we too are a bit nervous to begin again. We've put on our temple clothes, we've brought our books, and we've even walked through the temple's doors. But we too have no idea what this new year has in store. There is so much that is unknown, and there is so much that is out of our hands. Today we stand before God, judge and arbiter, counselor and witness, who will determine our fate. Tomorrow we will read the Unatana Tokef prayer, in which we are reminded that on Rosh Hashanah it is written, and on Yom Kippur it is sealed. Who shall live and who shall die? Who will reap the ripeness of age, and who will be taken before their time? Who by fire, and who by water, who by war, and who by beast? These aren't easy words to read for any of us. They remind us of how profoundly our lives can be altered by random occurrences over which we have no control. This part of the prayer leans heavily towards things that can go wrong, reminding us that life is as precarious as it is precious. But what if we're focusing on the wrong part of the prayer? The Unatana Tokef begins, Unatana Tokef Kedushat Hayom, Ki hu Nora Va'ayom. Let us proclaim the sacred power of this day, a day whose holiness awakens deepest awe. Let us proclaim the sacred power of this day. Our lives can be changed by illness, war, or injury. They can also be altered for the better by one inspiring person or experience that moves us in ways that we never could have expected. After all, how many of us have a person in our lives who, through their words, through their encouragement, or simply by being a role model, changed the course of our lives forever? So let us proclaim the sacred power of the day. This moment is full of possibilities, Whatever they are, let us make the most of them. As it turns out, the name Hayom Harat Olam is a little bit misleading. According to the rabbis, the world was not actually born on Rosh Hashanah at all. God had already separated the light from the darkness and the waters from the sky. God had created the sun and the moon and the stars, the land, the plants, and the trees. They were already fish and birds. Rosh Hashanah, the rabbis teach, was actually the 6th day of creation, the day on which God took a leap of faith and created us, created human beings. God did this even as the ministering angels argued and argued about the value of human creation. The angels broke into factions, Midrash says, arguing about the merit of human beings. The angel embodying love said, "Let them be created. They will perform acts of love." Truth responded and said, "Let them not be created. They will all be liars." Justice said, "Let them be created. They will fight for justice." And peace shouted, "Let them not be created. They will only make war." As the angels were arguing with one another, what did God do? God created human beings. God knew even then that we would be far from perfect. God also knew that we would have the capacity to create love and justice, to foster spiritual connection, and to do holy work. Rosh Hashanah is the day that God acted on God's faith that our creation would be worth the risk. Despite the angels' fears, God started a new chapter in the story of creation, and we are the benefactors. V'yira Elohim el kol asher asa v'hinei tov ma'od. And God saw that all God had made was good. God found it very good. Some of the most important matriarchs and patriarchs in our tradition teach us the importance of taking such risks. Noah builds an ark and takes aboard pairs of every animal to care for during the flood. Abraham and Sarah go off from the only land they ever knew in order to parent the Israelite people. Moses goes back to Egypt in order to free his people from bondage. Through their stories, our tradition encourages us to take risks in order to achieve that which is most important to us. As the great theologian Wayne Gretzky once said, "You miss 100% of the shots you do not take." Hayom Harat Olam. Each of them saw that today was a day of opportunity, and it was worth taking the risk. When we closely read the words Hayom Harat Olam, we discover even more interpretive possibilities. Olam can mean world, but it can also mean eternal. The word harat, so often translated as born, actually comes from the Hebrew word for pregnancy, herayon. Hayom Harat Olam can mean today the world is born, but it can also mean today is eternally pregnant with the possibilities of creation. Today is filled with potential life, but first we must take that leap and birth it into being. Over the past few months, many of you have asked me why I chose to move all the way from New York and come to California to be the rabbi of Temple Bethel, and my answer is always the same. From the moment that I entered the doors of this building, I felt at home. I knew with as much certainty as anyone can know anything that moving here was worth the risk. I felt a sacred connection to people that I barely knew. And I knew that this is where I belonged, where I wanted to raise my children. This is a place in which God dwells. It is my dream that everyone in this room today feels a similar connection to this community and to Judaism when they enter this building. Temple Bethel, as we know, has a long and rich history. It was brought into being 97 years ago by 23 families who decided to worship together in the home of Mr. and Mrs. Levin. Even in those early years, a group of Jewish men joined together to form a social club, while the women formed the San Pedro Jewish Sisterhood, which dedicated itself to supporting the Jewish community and giving aid to people who needed it throughout San Pedro. These founding families took it upon themselves at a time when Jews were not permitted to buy property in many of the surrounding areas, to create a San Pedro Jewish Community Center in 1935 and to purchase the lot where Temple Bethel still stands in 1955. Temple Bethel's earliest members were willing to put themselves out on a limb and create the foundation for a Jewish community within San Pedro. It required for them to take an enormous risk and show a great deal of strength of character. I can only imagine that at times they considered stopping the whole mission, but they didn't. The words Hayom Harat Olam have their origin in the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah the prophet was called to God to prophesy, and as you can imagine, it isn't always easy to offer words of doom and gloom. It isn't always easy for Jeremiah to chastise over and over and over again in hopes that the people might perhaps change their ways. It wasn't a job that he asked for, but it was his responsibility. Jeremiah pleaded with God to let him off the hook. And when God responded, telling Jeremiah that he was born for this, Jeremiah responded saying, "Then curse the day I was born. I wish my mother remained Harat Olam. I wish my mother had remained eternally pregnant." He longed to return to a simpler time in which he felt protected and embraced. He resisted any kind of risk. He longed for the comfort of the womb. Overcome by nerves about the realities he might need to confront, Jeremiah wished to give in and close himself off. Unlike God, unlike our temple's founders, he refused to take the risk. By contrast, our founders boldly declared, "We need each other. We need community, and we belong here together." We are the benefactors of their courage, their vulnerability, and their faith. In each generation, people in our community have added their voices and their spirit to this community because we too know that we need one another. This is a community in which we lift up each other at difficult times in our lives and where we rejoice in one another's simchas and happy occasions. It is a place where we study and worship and do social justice work and where we spend time together. It is a place in which we foster sacred relationships. Thank God our founders do not give in to Jeremiah's fear. Thank God that God chose to create human beings despite the risks. Each of these leaps of faith led to sacred opportunity. I'd like to share a personal story about an experience that changed my life for the better. When I visited my grandmother in the Alzheimer's unit of her nursing home, I had no idea what would be laying in store for me. The last time I had visited, my grandmother not only forgot who I was, but far worse, she forgot who my mom, one of her sole caretakers, was. Communication had been nearly impossible. I remembered how my mother held back tears, hoping to protect me and my sister, and perhaps herself, from the awful truth that we were losing her mom. I thought about the days when my family sang Jewish songs such as B'Shana Haba'ah, or when the Seder table was alive with every verse of Dayenu and Let My People Go. Perhaps if I brought my guitar, I thought, my grandmother would sing once more. I was nervous as I walked through the doors of the Hebrew home. What if my grandmother didn't respond? What if my grandmother didn't remember the music or didn't want to be bothered? What if this experiment failed too? I wondered if I should just leave my guitar in the car so as to limit expectations. But in the end, I refused to buy into my fears. As author Michael Hyatt once said, fear is usually an indication that we are doing something worthwhile. My family wheeled my grandmother into the common room of the home. She was slumped in her chair, devoid of emotion. I explained to her that I was going to play some music so that we could sing together as we had years before. She seemed unimpressed. I took a deep breath, picked up my guitar, and began to play. B'shana haba nesheva hamirpesed v'nispor tziporim nodedot. Suddenly her eyes became alert. For the first time in years, I heard her sing. My family all began to join in prayerful song. And if that weren't enough, slowly more families began coming out of their rooms too and joining in the lobby. More sleepy patients jumped to life to sing with reckless abandon in the common room. Children and grandchildren joined in as we sang Oseh Shalom, Shalom Rav, and Hava Nagila. It was magical. For those few minutes, a room filled with strangers transformed into sacred community. I had felt connections, spiritually connected in services and during Torah study, at the Passover Seder, and while lighting Shabbat or Yom Tov candles. This was the first time that I realized sacred moments could happen anywhere. I wanted to devote my life to creating moments of sacred connection. Today, we have gathered to welcome in a new year and to think about the possibilities that lay before us. The truth is that although today is significant in that we are here as a community and we're praying and we're singing and we're reflecting, today isn't the day that matters, at least not more than any other day. We often think the Hayom and Hayom Harat Olam, a word that we translate as today, refers to Rosh Hashanah itself, but Hayom can also mean this day. What if the day that matters most is the day in which we currently reside? What if today is every day? Each day we can choose to engage with the stranger. Each day we can choose to bring our guitar into the nursing home or to paint our inner masterpiece. We can join Torah study or cook with the cantor or join Menches or Sisterhood. We can choose to do things that we've been meaning to try. This year, this day, let us take risks. Let us let people in. Today is eternally pregnant with possibility. Each day is. So let us proclaim the sacred power of our days by making the most of them.
May this be a year of love and kindness. May strangers come to be friends. May truth and compassion always guide us. Amen. May this be a year of hope and healing for all of those in need. May all of our deeds be a blessing. Amen. A new year, a good year, a chance to start all over. A new year, a sweet year, a chance to bring us closer. May this be a year of selfless giving. May this be a year of peace. And may we forgive and be forgiven. Amen. A new year, a good year, a chance to start all over. A new year and a sweet year, a chance to bring us closer. A new year, a good year, a chance to start all over. A new year, yes, a sweet year, a chance to bring us closer, closer to the ones we love, a world that we can be proud of, long as there are stars above. There comes a new year.
I'd like to invite up our temple presidents to offer their message. Gail Schwartz and Eric Imley.
You could just do Rabbi Cassie's speech again. That was pretty good.
That was pretty good. Walk through our doors and feel our warmth. Be yourself and be embraced by people who are caring, nurturing, and supportive. Learn with us, pray with us, sing and play with us, eat with us, laugh and cry with us, pursue justice with us. Join us in challenging and inspiring one another to seek answers together. Come home to Temple Bethel, where new friends are waiting to welcome you. Do you recognize these words? Are they vaguely familiar or completely new to your ears? These are the words of Temple Bethel's mission, vision, and values statement. It is important to have a statement that summarizes the who, the what, the where, and the why organizations exist and what they are to accomplish. Several years ago, the Temple Bethel Board of Directors composed our statement in a poetic form as a reflection of the character of our community and what is meaningful to us. How do you feel about these words? Do they ring true for you as an individual? What are some of the ways that you are engaging with our Temple family?
From a leadership perspective, we keep these ideas close to our hearts and use them in our decision making. For everything that we need to consider, both large and small, we ask ourselves, is this what is best for Temple Bethel? The year 5779 was a very busy year for our beloved TBE family. We welcomed Rabbi Kale, Josh, the Rebbetz's man, and their kids, Noam and Talia, to our family just 3 short months ago. Rabbi Kale certainly has hit the ground running and has already shown us that the board of directors made the right decision to hire her. We hope over the next few months you will be able to get to know her and see her strong heart, wit, wisdom, intelligence, and how she has already fallen in love with us and we with her. If this is all that we are able to accomplish that year, we can say Dayenu. I know, that's the wrong holiday.
But wait, there's more. The Board of Directors has made considerable progress on the goals that have been set. The San Pedro Child Care Co-op has started operating their preschool in our building, bringing the sounds of happy little voices resonating through our hallways. We are eagerly waiting for the start of construction on the new cell tower in January, a culmination of more than 2 years of work. We have a reinvigorated member outreach committee working on ways to increase visibility and membership. We have started work with the URJ's Governance and Congregational Excellence Project that we spoke about in last month's Kol Beit El. Security measures have increased, both with personnel and physical enhancements. Next time you see a guard at our door or someone you do not recognize, introduce yourself, say hello, and demonstrate that we can be secure and welcoming at the same time.
Leadership development is the third of our major initiatives. A committee was formed and much work has been accomplished developing the curriculum for a 6-session class to educate congregants on how to be future temple leaders. We expect to start the class in early spring and gear it towards congregants who want to be more involved at TBE. The class will explore our lay leadership structure, the inner workings of our temple, our strengths, our challenges, and define strategies to lead us into the future. There will be more information over the next couple of months. Please come and talk to one of us if you would like more information. 5780 will also be a year of great exploration and celebration. Mark your calendars for Friday night, January 31st, 2020, as the Shabbat service will be dedicated in the recognition of the Cantor's 25th anniversary. Yeah. Saturday, February 1st will be the quarter of a century extravaganza celebration as we rejoice and honor him for his many years of service to our beloved community. But wait, there's more! From Friday, May 15th through Sunday, May 17th, we will be installing Rabbi Kale, which will give us another opportunity for the community to come together and celebrate.
None of this would happen without a great team that keeps TBE working, and we are so humbled to work with them. Thank you to Cantor, Rabbi, Racheli, Carrie, Shoni, Adam, Ron, the Board of Directors, Sisterhood, and our many, many volunteers, without whom none of this would be possible. They bring joy to all of the work we do. On Rosh Hashanah, it is traditional to hear the words of the Akedah, the story of the binding of Isaac. Abraham is called by God to sacrifice his only son to prove his devotion. We all know, of course, that at the last moment, God provides a ram to be sacrificed instead, sparing Isaac. The recurring response to Abraham was Hineni. Why Hineni does translate to the response, here I am, the power of that phrase is far greater. It is the acceptance of a charge, a taking on a task or a responsibility. Sam Glasser writes, I am here, God, and if I can help, let me be the one who is first to say, I'm going to be the one who is first to say, Hineni.
Another, more modern translation of Hineni for tonight could be, I am fully present. I am present in my life. I am fully present with my children. I'm fully present when I'm in conversation with you. I'm fully present as a Jew. I'm fully present as a citizen of the world. This means paying close attention to the sacred duties we assume as Jews. But we remember all the pleasures of Judaism and the fun and joy of the community brings us. All the fulfillment and excitement we have visiting Israel or doing mitzvot here in the South Bay community. We say thank you for joining us in the work of Tikkun Olam.
Walk through our doors and feel our warmth. Be yourself and be embraced by people who are caring, nurturing, and supportive. Learn with us, pray with us, sing and play with us, eat with us, laugh and cry with us, pursue justice with us. Join us in challenging and inspiring one another to seek answers together. Come home to Temple Bethel, where new friends are waiting to welcome you. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
And in case you're wondering more things that are happening ahead, just a reminder about the timing of services tomorrow. So we're still going to finish this service, but in the morning at 9:30, you're all invited, of course, to our Shacharit, our Rosh Hashanah morning service. If anyone needs childcare or programming for Torah age students, that's available as well. At 3:30, we'll have our family service, and at 5 p.m., we'll have Tashlich at Averill Park. And there's one other thing that I want to briefly mention, which is you might see these flyers around on some of the tables. Every few years, there is something with the World Zionist Congress where Jews can vote in order for the reform movement to have a stronger presence in Israel. So that election isn't for a few months from now, but I encourage you to pick this up so that it's on your mind, because it is really important. So I would like us to continue our service now. We're going to turn to page 82 for Aleinu, and I invite everyone to please rise if you're able to.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר ראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד
On page 90, all last requests are granted. Page 88, I'm sorry. I'm reading my notes instead of the page. All last requests are granted, and this is mine. Grasp my affection in your hands and hold it there. Gather my affection into your heart and store it there. Draw my affection in simple lines into your mind and foster it, further it, funnel it into all the coastal plains and lowland where daily life and memory flow together. Let the river of affection rise and overflow. Let the grasses in the meadow nearest the river bend in the current where my love has flooded your land. We take time in order to offer these words of the mourner's Kaddish in memory of all those who have died recently, at this time in years past, and whose memories stay strongly on our hearts at this time of these holy days. I invite you to say them with me on page 90. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, ve'amad yivrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayachon u'vyomechon u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'gala u'bizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivrach le'olam u'lamei amen. Yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitmamam v'yinaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shmei t'kudusha b'richu le'ela u'le'ela mikol b'yachateka Tushbechata v'nechamata, Damiram ve'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'yimru amen.
Shalom Shalom Birkoma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'ivru Amen. Oseh Shalom Birkoma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'ivru Amen. Oseh Shalom Birkoma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'ivru Amen.
Shana Tova. Shana Tova. I'll give you another hug. Shana Tova.